Imagine stepping into a room and realizing there's no way out. The walls shift, the floor fades, and before you can react, you're gone. Welcome to the Vanishing Rooms, a place where one wrong move means disappearing forever. But don't worry, I'm here to help. If you ever find yourself in this nightmare, there are 5 critical mistakes you must avoid or risk becoming another lost soul. At first, you might not even notice the whispers. They start as faint murmurs, barely distinguishable from the sound of your own breath. But the longer you stay in the room, the clearer they become. Some say the whispers are warnings, clues left behind by those who came before. Others claim they are lures, meant to guide you into traps. The problem is, you'll never know which is which. It begins innocently enough, a hushed voice calling your name, so soft that you're not even sure you heard it. But when you stop, when you strain your ears to listen, the voice disappears. The moment you convince yourself it was nothing, it returns. Sometimes the whispers echo your thoughts, repeating them back to you like an eerie, distorted recording. You think, I need to find a way out. And the walls answer, yes, find a way out. Other times, the whispers predict your movements, describing exactly what you're about to do before you do it. You hesitate before stepping forward and the walls murmur, don't stop now. Keep going, keep going. That's when the paranoia sets in. Are the walls helping you or leading you astray? If you ignore them completely, you might miss an important warning. Some survivors claim that the whispers guided them toward the right door, that they were led to safety by a voice that was just as scared as they were. But others say the whispers tricked them, that they were told to take a step forward, only to find the floor missing beneath their feet. And then there are those who listened too closely. They leaned in, pressed their ear against the wall, desperate to understand what was being said. That's when the voices changed. The soft whispers became urgent, frantic, closer, closer. Listen, they told secrets, stories of what happened in the room before, how it wasn't always a room, how it was once something else, something that didn't want to be disturbed. Then a hand pressed against the other side of the wall. Not a mark, not an imprint, but an actual moving hand, stretching the surface like fabric, fingertips pushing against the wallpaper, a mouth forming just beneath, lips parting, whispering, come closer, I need to tell you something. Those who leaned in too far never leaned back. You see, the walls aren't just whispering, they're breathing, they're watching, and if you let them, they'll pull you in. Some say the whispers belong to the lost souls trapped within the walls, doomed to repeat their warnings forever. Others claim the room itself is alive, that it needs new voices to whisper in its halls. So if you ever hear them, be careful, because if you listen too long, you might not realize when the whispers start coming from your own mouth. The first time you see it, it looks normal, too normal. In the Vanishing Rooms, mirrors don't just reflect reality, they bend it, they warp it. At first, you might not notice anything unusual. You move, and your reflection moves with you. You raise a hand, it does the same. Everything seems fine, but the longer you watch, the more you realize something is off. Your reflection isn't just mimicking you, it's watching you. Some have reported small delays, a blink that happens a fraction of a second too late, a head tilt that lingers longer than it should. But the scariest moments happen when you catch it doing something that you didn't do. Imagine turning away for just a second, just a blink. When you look back, your reflection is still facing forward, eyes locked onto yours, waiting. Maybe it wasn't fast enough. Maybe it wanted you to see. Then the real nightmare begins. A trap you can't escape. There's a story about a woman named Clara who found herself in one of these rooms. She was smart. She was careful. She knew something was wrong the moment she saw the mirror. But curiosity got the better of her. She reached out to touch the glass. The surface was colder than ice, but it didn't feel like glass at all. It felt soft, like skin. Before she could pull her hand away, something grabbed her wrist. The reflection of her own hand latched onto her, fingers wrapping around her wrist like a vice. She struggled, pulling back with all her strength, but her reflection was stronger. It was pulling her in. The more she fought, the deeper her arms sank into the glass, until she saw something worse. Her reflection smiled. Not a scared smile, not a desperate one, but a knowing smile. A second later, Clara was gone. Her body stood in the room, but it wasn't her anymore. The thing inside the mirror had switched places, and whatever had taken her place, it walked away. You'll never know if it's still you. That's the real horror of the Vanishing Rooms. Some people don't disappear right away. Sometimes they leave thinking they made it out, but something is different. Maybe their reflection was faster than them. Maybe it copied them too well. At first, they don't notice anything wrong. They walk out of the room, relieved. They go home. They return to their normal lives. But then, strange things start happening. They look in the mirror one morning and see the wrong expression looking back at them. Or their reflection moves just a little too late. Or worse, it stops copying them entirely. There's a rumor about a man who managed to escape. He thought he was fine, until one night he looked in the mirror and saw his reflection grinning at him while he stood completely still. He shattered the glass, but it didn't matter. The damage was done, because once the reflection decides to break the rules, fails, it's too late. Final warning. So if you ever find yourself trapped in the vanishing rooms and you see a mirror, don't trust it, don't touch it, don't look at it for too long. And whatever you do, don't turn your back. Because if you do, you might find that when you turn around again, your reflection is no longer yours. You might think the doors in the vanishing rooms are your way out. You'd be wrong. Some doors lead to the next room, some take you deeper, and some shouldn't exist at all. The first thing you'll notice is that no two doors look the same. One might be elegant, carved from dark mahogany with golden handles. Another might be old, rotting, hanging off its hinges. Then there are the ones that seem wrong. A door that's too small, as if made for someone or something else. A door that isn't attached to a wall, just standing there, waiting. A door that wasn't there a second ago. And then there's the one that breathes, the door that wants you to open it. People who have survived the vanishing rooms all tell the same story. There's always one door that calls to you. You won't know why. Maybe you feel drawn to it as if something behind it is calling your name. Maybe the air around it is warmer, more inviting. Or maybe, just maybe, you hear something knocking from the other side. Soft at first, then more desperate, more insistent. Let me out. Some say the knocking comes from past victims, people who chose the wrong door and never came back. Others believe the room itself is tricking you, mimicking the sound of human desperation, hoping you'll open the door and let it in. But whatever is on the other side, it isn't human. Those who answer the knock never get a second chance. They vanish. And sometimes, just sometimes, something else walks out in their place. The endless hallway. Trap. Not all doors in the vanishing rooms lead to another room. Some open into nothingness. There's a door that looks completely normal, an old wooden door with a brass knob just like any you'd find in an abandoned house. But if you step through it, you won't find a way out. You'll find a hallway, a long, dimly lit corridor that stretches too far. At first, you think, this must be the way out. You walk forward. The floor creaks beneath your feet. The hallway twists, turns, narrows. Then you see another door at the end. Relief floods through you. But when you open it, you're right back where you started. Same hallway, same dim light, same door waiting at the end. No matter how many times you try, no matter which direction you turn, you're stuck. The hallway is shifting around you, bending, stretching, keeping you inside. Some say they walked for hours, days, years, never aging, never tiring, just moving forward in an endless cycle. And the worst part, they swore they could hear someone following them. Not footsteps, not breathing, just movement, a presence right behind them. But every time they turned around, there was nothing there. The door that shouldn't be there. There's one rule in the vanishing rooms. If you see a door that wasn't there before, don't touch it. No one knows where it leads. Some say it's a shortcut, a way out of the nightmare. Others claim it's a test, a trick designed to lure in those who are too impatient, too eager to escape. But the people who take it, they don't come back, ever. And the door, it disappears, as if it was never there to begin with. Final warning. If you ever find yourself in the vanishing rooms, choose carefully. Not all doors lead to freedom. Some don't lead anywhere at all. And some are waiting for someone like you to open them, to step through, and to never step out again. At first, the sound is barely noticeable. A faint tap, tap, tap against the walls. So quiet you might think you imagined it. But the longer you stay in the vanishing rooms, the louder it gets. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. Always 3. No one knows who or what is knocking, but those who have answered, they were never seen again. And sometimes, someone else takes their place. There's an old story about a boy named Daniel who entered the vanishing rooms by accident. He thought it was just an abandoned house, a place to explore. Then he heard it. The sound came from inside the walls, not from a door, not from a window, from inside the very structure of the room itself. Daniel did what anyone would do. He pressed his ear against the wall, listening. Silence. Then a whisper. Let me out. He stumbled back, heart pounding. He told himself it was just his imagination, but deep down, he knew something was wrong. The air had changed. The room felt smaller, the walls pressing in like they were breathing. And then the second knock came. Some people say the second knock sounds different, more desperate, more human, like someone trapped, someone begging for help. Some hear a voice sobbing, pleading. Others hear their own name spoken in a voice they recognize. A loved one, a friend, even their own voice. Daniel hesitated. His instinct screamed at him to ignore it. But then he heard his sister's voice. Danny, please open the door. His sister had died years ago. His hands trembled as he reached for the wall. He didn't want to do it. He knew something was wrong. But the voice sounded so real. What if it was real? What if she had been trapped here all this time, waiting for someone to let her out? Just as his fingertips brushed the wall, the third knock came. The moment you hear the third knock, it's too late. The room goes silent. The air turns ice cold. Shadows lengthen unnaturally, stretching toward you. And the wall where the knocking came from, it opens. Not like a normal door, not like a hidden panel, like a mouth, a gaping black void, too dark to be real. By the time Daniel realized his mistake, he was already falling forward. Something pulled him in, something unseen. He clawed at the floor, at the walls, but there was nothing to hold on to. His last scream was swallowed by the darkness, and then the wall closed. The knocking stopped, and just like that, Daniel was gone. The next time someone entered the vanishing rooms, they heard it. A voice whispered from inside the walls, "Let me out." It was Daniel. If you ever hear a knock in the vanishing rooms, do not answer it. Do not listen to the voice. Do not believe what it tells you, because the moment you reach out, the moment you answer, you become the one knocking. In the vanishing rooms, time doesn't move the way it should. Clocks don't tick, watches freeze, phones glitch out, screens stuck at random numbers. No one knows how long they've been inside. Minutes feel like hours, hours feel like seconds. And the worst part? You might think you still have time until you don't. They say the first thing to disappear isn't the clock, it's your shadow. At first you won't notice. The dim light plays tricks on your eyes, and the rooms are full of strange angles. But eventually you realize something's wrong. You look down, and it's gone. No shadow beneath your feet, no outline on the walls. That's when the panic sets in, because the shadow isn't just an absence of light, it's your tag. It means you still exist. That time hasn't moved too far. Once your shadow vanishes, so does your place in the real world. The clock outside keeps ticking, but inside, you're already fading. If you stay too long, the rooms start to change. Doors appear and disappear. Walls stretch. Hallways loop back on themselves. And no matter which way you turn, you keep ending up in the same place, like the house itself is trying to make you forget where you came from, forget where you were, forget when you started. That's how it gets you. Some people try to fight it. They carve marks into the walls, leave objects behind, anything to remind themselves of the passage of time. But those marks, they fade. A scratch in the wood smooths over like skin healing from a wound. A watch left on the floor vanishes when you look away. And if you check your own reflection, you might not recognize the face staring back. There's a legend about a man named Lewis. He was careful. He counted every second, whispering numbers under his breath so he wouldn't lose track. He checked his watch constantly, refusing to let time slip away from him. Then he found the clock, a massive, antique grandfather clock in the center of an empty room. For the first time since entering the vanishing rooms, he felt hope. If he could just follow the clock, he'd know how long he'd been inside. But then he noticed something strange. The hands were moving backward, not ticking in reverse, spinning, fast at first, then slower, until it stopped. And that's when Lewis realized his mistake. His watch had matched the clock. It wasn't frozen anymore. It was rewinding. So was he. His hands trembled. His breath came out in ragged gasps. His body felt smaller, his skin paler, his memories gone. He tried to run, but his legs wouldn't work. He collapsed to the floor, and when he looked at his hands, they were too small, like a child's. The clock was undoing him, reversing his time, stripping away his years, his existence, and then he was gone. The next person who found that room, they saw the clock, and next to it, a small wooden doll, one with Lewis's face. If you ever enter the vanishing rooms, do not forget the time. Do not trust the clocks. Do not trust your memory. And whatever you do, don't lose your shadow, because once you do, time forgets you. So if you ever find yourself in the vanishing rooms, remember these warnings. Listen carefully. Avoid the mirrors. Choose the right door. Ignore the knocks. And above all, never lose track of time, because once the room decides it's time for you to vanish, you won't even realize you're gone.